Hi, my name is Michelle Lewis. 10 years ago, you'd have been lucky to see me run to the end of the road. These days, running is second nature to me. From marathons to park runs to putting my own running group through their paces. You'll often see me in suitably loud attire, getting ready to pound the pavements. And here's a secret, if I can do it, you can too. There's so many wonderful and inspiring stories in the world of running. And not just running, some of my favourite tales involve those who take to their wheelchairs, bikes or simply their own trusty feet in an attempt to get fitter, faster or just have some fun. In this podcast, I'm going to be in conversation with some of the most inspiring and fascinating of these people. Remember, it's your time, your speed, your way. The only person you need to keep up with is yourself.
Welcome to another Running Tales podcast. I'm Craig Lewis, and on this week's episode, I'm speaking to Tom Palacio. Now, Tom is preparing at the moment for a very special 50-mile ultramarathon. He's not a natural runner. He's a rugby player who got into running in recent years to try and raise awareness and to fundraise for Brain Tumour Research. That came after his friend James Pullen tragically died from the disease in 2015. James was diagnosed with a brain tumour in 2010 when he was just 22 after suffering from seizures. Despite undergoing surgery and radiotherapy, which successfully shrunk the tumour, James eventually died in December 2015 at the age of just 28. Since then, Tom and his friends have raised more than £20,000 for brain tumour research. So I asked him about his latest challenge.
So it's a 50 mile, so 50-mile run, basically, ultra marathon. So my best friend, one of my best friends, James, passed away in 2015 because of a brain tumour. And obviously, playing rugby, me and quite a few lads, we've done memorial games. However, when COVID came, we couldn't do rugby games. So then, I think 2020, I ran a marathon in his memory. Like being a front row rugby lad, it's quite hard work. And then 2021. It was like April time. I thought I'm going to do another running challenge. So I did 10 miles a day for 9 days. And then on the 10th day, I ran a marathon. I was an hour about doing another challenge. And me and a few friends went down to Plymouth University, where they were having like a wall of hope. And then James, my friend who's died, he's got 7 plaques there. I've got one, my name, and me and some other lads got some rugby. And then the feels right, yeah, we're going to do another one. We'll do some more fundraising. And I thought, how hard can 50 miles be? Turns out it's going to be quite hard. I'm doing it on the 16th of July. Me and my friend Jake Smith, we're going to do it together. I'm going to do a 5-mile route, repeat it 10 times. Because in our city, Wales and Somerset, obviously we're going to start rugby club, go around like one village and come back. And then what we're hoping is other lads will join us for like 5-mile blocks, if you know what I mean. I've been out at the moment. I'm running 3 times a week. I go to the gym 3 times a week. Obviously, I play rugby, so I still got to do my weight sessions, and the running is just a nice little bonus on top. I was out for like 10 miles Sunday. Felt quite comfortable at that pace. I've done marathons. I've done a 15-mile run recently, and that was all right. I think the 50 miles, it would be, I reckon the first 4 lots of 5, I'll be okay. I come when it's like 6th time round. But obviously when you've got like 3 or 4 of you probably with you, it'll be all right, because you can we're planning on walking up hills to save the energy. In a weird way, I quite enjoy running. In lockdown especially, it's quite nice. You just switch off from it, and like you get out for an hour, whatever, plus you come back, you feel quite good.
So prior to lockdown, and obviously prior to James's death, did you do a lot of running at all, or was this something that came along at that point?
I've always been kept myself fit. I ran here and there, like playing rugby. I've had to keep myself fit, so I've always done. So yeah, if I noticed that I put a bit of weight, I'll go out for a run and a few runs here and there, and then obviously I train the gym, and so it wasn't something that I was like. I've never been quick, but I've always been able to have that stamina to like. I've always sort of always have like gone for a run here and there, but not as probably as like regimented as like now I've got to be right, long run, short run, medium run. Obviously it's got 3 weeks to go. So I'm knocking back down to no more long runs, probably like 6 miles, 5 miles, 4 miles. Still do my gym routine. I still do my session in the gym. Maybe not go. I was in the gym this morning. I was squatting okay, but I wasn't like going to like my heavy sets that I would normally do. It's 3 weeks out. I need to make sure that I was getting more. I was still doing squats, but I was doing like, a bit lighter. I was up 60% of what I was lifting. So I was on about 90 to 100K.
I know a lot of people who I speak to who do like long distances and ultras and so on will talk about how important the strength training is. And a lot of runners, I'm really bad for it, will kind of like forget to do the strength training. We'll just go out and we'll run. But I guess you're kind of the other way around.
Yeah, because if we play rugby, I like going to the gym. I train most mornings at 6 in the morning. So I quite like going to the gym. And it's something that I've always liked getting to the gym. I think, again, lockdown helped. Like, I think you sort of reset a little bit. There's nothing else to do apart from train. I was lucky I had some weights in the garage, some nice running routes around where I live. So I got back into it. But yeah, I've always had to, I'm not, if I don't train, I love my food and I will put on weight, simple as that.
You boys in the forwards now, you've got to be able to move as well as push these days, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a real, it's a bit rubbish now. Yeah, we've got actually get around the park. It's not a case of although it's always good games in when it's October, November, December, January and February. That's where me and some lads quite like it. We still do a bit of fitness, but or actually, I think we just need to do some power stuff because the wetter the game gets, the slower the game gets. Like naturally, you've got to be more powerful, and then summer comes along. I should have done a bit of fitness, but.
So with this training for this run, what's the sort of longest distance you're out now?
I've done 20 miles in the last few months. And it's all right. Like, you don't get out of breath when you do a long distance run. People go, how do you manage it? I was like, well, you don't get out of breath. And I was a little bit stupid when I did mine. I went out with no energy gels and I went out on just my phone. Luckily, I had my bank card on my phone. So I wish I ran past the shops, I could pick up like some Lucozade. But I can't eat. I don't know how ultramarathon runners eat. I can do it a little bit. I can have sweets, like a small bit of sweets. I'm all right, but I can't have like you see some people that can have like a fair bit of food. I can't eat a banana when I'm running. Like,
yeah, I'm like you. I've done a couple of marathons, and the thought of eating anything more than a banana at the start and some sweets on the way round, I'm just like, no, I'm not up for that. But like you say, some of these ultra runners will take on so much food as they go around the course.
Yeah, one of my friends, Lewis Smith, he does Ironmans, and he said he's trained. He used to play rugby in the front row, and he's quit. He stopped playing rugby a few years ago. Now he just does triathlons, which that seems mad. He's doing one in Austria this weekend, but he's saying he had to train himself on eating when he was training, and like he said, it just takes years of just. And you have to do it, like, and sometimes you feel horrible when you're doing it, but it does over time make a bit of difference. But I just can't. Even when I ran my first marathon, you feel hungry afterwards, but you're not like you then eat something, but then you just can't eat it. You struggle to eat afterwards as well. You're hungry, but like, and you eat all loads of food, and I found that I could snack. If I do a big run, I'll snack more than I eat something big.
So what marathons have you done? What are the marathons that you've taken part in?
The only marathon I've done all virtual marathons, so around where I live. But in 2011, I ran Bristol Half Marathon. So about 10 years ago, I was not as keen on running, but I was sort of getting into running. And then it was weird. I ran Bristol Half, and then I just didn't thought I'm done now. Yeah, I ran it in good time as well. I think I ran it in 1 hour and 56 minutes.
So obviously you've got a really good reason, a really personal reason for doing this. Tell us a little bit about James and about why you're running for Brain Tumour Research.
So James had, I met James through Rugby Club. he was 2 years older than me. We played in the same team, like in the senior years, and we just got on. But yeah, we love going nights out together and stuff like that. And there's about 15 of us lads about between ages 31 and 33 now that are quite close. We were all quite close when we were growing up. So yeah, James got diagnosed in 2010 with a brain tumour. But then he never let on much to us about it. As far as we were aware, the way he made it sound was that he had operation and it was all gone. But as it turned out, 2014, he had another operation. He said, in fact, it's come back, 2014, 2015. And then 2015, he sadly passed away with it. It wasn't until a bit later we realised that in 2010, he was told it's incurable, apart from chemo. And what I always remember thinking back, and when he had a fit when his brain tumour came, basically, he couldn't drive. He wasn't allowed to drive with it. And that, I think, looking back now, was impacted him greatly because his mum, they're driving to work. And I only learned out this a couple months ago when I was talking to Sarah and Dave, his mum and dad. And Sarah was saying that, like, he told his mum, if anyone asks you where he was working, he was a plasterer. And what's mad, he used to go to chemo and then go to work. And he just said, boss, I've got a hospital appointment. And then have his chemo and go to work, which you think, but now I think, like, that is just mental. But even now, I remember he still went out with us. He's still the same bloke. Like, loved going out with us. Yeah, we used to always go out together and socialise quite a bit. But yeah, he told his mum, and Sarah told us this. She said, if anyone asks, I got done for drink driving. It's the reason I can't drive. Because he said, I don't want people to think any less of me, to think as though I can't do things because I have a brain tumour. And I think that's what he told the people he worked with. So he said, your mum's giving you different to work. And that's the reason he said, because he didn't want the sympathy for it. He didn't let onto us at all that he wasn't well until about a week, 2 weeks before he died.
So it sounds like he was absolutely desperate, to the point of almost looking potentially bad in people's eyes for getting done for drink driving or whatever, but absolutely desperate to be living as normal a life as he could do, and to be carrying out with his mates and so on.
That's exactly right. And his mum was saying, like, he always wanted us to, he didn't want us to feel as though we had to hang out with him. He wanted us to do it because we wanted to do, which quite an emotional thing on that when we went to Plymouth. We found out some stuff, and obviously we had an inkling of, when he died, we sort of thought, hang on a minute, like, it's probably been going on for a fair while, not just the last 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I like to think he'd be finding it quite funny that I'm doing all these runs, and quite proud as well.
And obviously, the main aim of all of this is to fundraise for Brain Tumour Research as well. So probably an obvious question, but how important is that, and how close is that charity to your heart?
Oh, it's massive. We've been with my friends, sort of our charity that we will always fundraise for, and because I think it's 5 brain tumour has a 5% chance of survival, which is so low. Like, it's and you hear stories about young people getting diagnosed brain tumours and dying and stuff, and it's sort of heartbreaking a little bit that they haven't found, like, obviously I get, like, all cancer's bad, but like when you got one brain tumour is like a death sentence, effectively. Unless you're very, very lucky, it's a death sentence. My uncle, how many years ago now? 15 years ago, lost his wife who had through a brain tumour as well. So again, it's a bit, so she was in the police force, quite high up, and then diagnosed with brain tumour in April and passed away in September. So it's sort of, so it's real sort of, I follow Brain Tumour on Instagram and social media, Brain Tumour Research. Obviously, you hear stories about kids having brain tumours, and it's just heartbreaking. Obviously, with James dying, it doesn't get easier as time goes on. People say it gets easier, but it's still there, isn't it?
And you've you and your friends have, I think, done quite a few charity events already, and you've raised quite a lot of money.
Yeah, so we've got obviously I'm doing so we had rugby games. A few of he fished as well. So a few fish boys have had like fishing tournaments. A few people have done cycles as well, and a few meals out, like sponsored meals out, where we've gone and toast James' life and raised money for charity. And we've also got, so I'm doing this ultra marathon, and then a few weeks after, two of my best friends, Joe Phelps and Tommy Corns, have arranged a mouse racing event at Woodford, Joe's parents' place, Woodford Farm. So it's gonna be like some mouse racing, and like it's basically a party, but like to raise money, and tickets can be brought, and it's all for charity. And yeah, so again, so it just makes us sort of think like, actually it's good for us to be able to do these things, but at the same time you do them and you fit, and there's a reason why you're doing it. That's always what we think. It's like there's always like a bit of a tinge of like, oh, right, we're doing this, but it's gonna be good. But at the same time, there's that sad reason why we're doing it. And
must be a very bittersweet experience. Just to give our listeners an idea of some of the money you've raised, from the information I've got, from all the stuff you were talking about, you've raised more than £20,000, and that money is equivalent of 7 days research at the Centre of Excellence for the Brain Tumour Research Trust at the University of Plymouth. So really significant amounts of money, and I know you're hoping to raise quite a lot more through this ultra as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping to raise between £2,000 and £3,000, and hopefully the social event in the August will again generate another £2,000 or £3,000, and that's if you can do sort of 2 events a year. It'll make some. What I would like to think is, if someone you got a brain tumor again, it could help them. I know James would want that. I know James would have wanted that to happen, and we will continue to do so for quite a long period of our lives, really.
So what's next? Is there another? I know there's a 50-mile ultra to do first, and you may well not be thinking beyond that. But are there any more events that are planned, and will they be running events?
I mean, you say that. I was having a chat with a friend of mine, and I was like, because rugby league player that ran 100 miles in 24 hours for MND.
Oh yeah, I do, and I can't remember his name.
Rob Barrows is the one that has got MND, but
was it Kevin Sinfield?
That's the one. I think that'd be just hard to do, but I think if you had like a few of you doing like bits and miles with you, I think that would be sort of something I would look to do maybe in 2 or 3 years. Obviously, it wouldn't be while I was playing rugby, so I'd have to commit like a large period to like training for it. But that would be something I think would be quite a nice, 100 miles. But like everyone says, long distances are hard, and they are hard. But it's the mental bit that like is the hardest, and the fact that your legs just sort of, you've got nothing left in your legs. Like in terms of getting out of breath, I find I can do a 3-mile run. So I'll push my pace, I'll be more out of breath than I would be doing a 15, 20-mile run. When I've done like sort of running drills and then sprinting drills rugby, I've been more out of breath doing that than a marathon. But like a marathon, you're sort of aching in the legs. And I've learned to like walk up hills. I've learned it's okay to walk up hills.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing of ultras is the sort of you know, it's not frowned upon to walk for a bit or do a 14-minute mile and so on. And I've spoken to a few ultra runners recently who've kind of said to me, look, and these guys who are doing 150 mile ultras, and they're saying, I'd find a marathon harder because you have to run a marathon or a half marathon, you have to run it. And they're like, for them, and some of them are quite fast, but for them, it's quite a relaxing thing with a bit of walking in and chilling out.
Yeah, like 150 miles.
Yeah.
Like that is insane, isn't it? Like it's like 12% of the country almost. I don't know how they would do.
No, I'm in awe of these guys. I'm in awe of you. I've done a couple of marathons, but that's as far as I'm intending to go anytime soon.
I quite like doing, for me, my nicest thing is when I go for a run, it's raining. It's quite a nice, when you come back, you're soaked right through, and you have that, and it's a nice, I can't run, I don't think I've ran on a treadmill in about 4 or 5 years though. I can't run on a treadmill now. I find it just too boring. I like going out headphones on. Yeah, some nice running routes. It's also quite nice at the moment. So where I live, obviously, Wales is quite a small area. So people see me out about running, people beep a horn, give a little wave. It's quite nice. It's quite social. You're on your own, but it's quite sociable at the same time. Like people go, I saw you out running the other day. And well, if I 6 miles, lovely run because you're out about 50. I could do it in 55 minutes. Quite a nice out for a good hour, just under an hour, come back, and it's quite a nice sort of, rather than 15, 20 miles, they're all right, but you're out for a long time in this heat. I'm hoping on the 16th of July, we've got a lot of breeze. Maybe it rains a little bit around lunchtime. So we'll be setting up about, we're going to do a first 5 mile, the first out of 10, 5 miles at 5 a.m. Then we'll try and start each leg on the hour. We'll try and keep the route quite flat as much as we can. And any hills, we walk up, trying to do like a 9-minute run, 1-minute walk, that sort of thing. And then obviously we stop every sort of, maybe every like second lap we do, have like a 10-minute break, like get some proper water on, like a massage gun maybe, just to get everything sort of, keep it moving. Maybe 3 or 4. I want to start off quite well. I want to try and get the first 2-3 rounds done, and then at like an okayish pace. And then I know full well the last sort of couple it'll be slow. And but saying that, when I ran my marathon last year, I had a few friends went with me, and my mate said like you quickened up in the last 3 or 4 miles, which he said it was quite amazing because you've done like 9. Yeah, you did 10 miles a day for 9 days, and this is your 10th day, and you're doing a marathon. So that your last 3 or 4 were actually quite a decent pace. But yeah, but I just fell up that point. I just wanted to finish. Am I right?
Tom, thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best of luck with the challenge. Let us know how you get on.
Cheers, Craig. Thank you.